gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the program right now. You've seen her, and look, there's too many things on your IMDb list here that I've seen you in, and I go, oh my God, she was in that, and she was in that, she was in that. And not only seeing you, but voiceover work, video games, which we'll all get into in a little bit. But she's here now to promote her new show, Bloodline, on Netflix. Please welcome Linda Cardellini.
Yes.
Got it right.
Thank you, you did.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Great. Thank you for coming in. Bloodline is one of those shows where it's fastly becoming a word-of-mouth show. Not that it doesn't have the credibility of being a fantastic show, but it's one of those shows where I'm noticing more and more people are starting saying, have you seen this show yet? The first episode sets everything up. It's a little slow, but then it kicks in, and the series is amazing. And this seems to be one of those great word-of-mouth shows like Breaking Bad and Mad Men, which you've been into and all that. This is exciting.
Yeah, oh my God. And if you think about it, the show's only been out for 2 weeks.
Right.
And there are 13 hours of it. So the idea that people are watching all of that already and talking about it is really exciting.
And I'm seeing it on blogs. I think Nerdist had something about it too, because everybody's now into, if it's on Netflix, it's 9 out of 10 times going to be amazing. So
great. So I know, and I love Netflix. So when the idea of being on one of their shows was really appealing.
How long have you been subscriber to Netflix?
Oh, years.
Yeah.
Years.
I started back, I think, 2002 with the DVD service.
Yeah, the DVDs.
Right.
I had a couple DVDs though forever, so I couldn't get anything else because I had lost them for a while, and I didn't have the heart to pay for them. So then I found them when I moved.
They never
sent
remind
them back, and finally could move forward with my list.
They never remind you. It's like, hey, you still have this copy of Slumdog Millionaire at home, and you haven't sent it back. It's been 3 years.
I'm pretty sure they don't care about the DVDs too much.
Not anymore.
Yeah, now certainly not anymore.
As long as you're streaming, that's all they care about. Bloodline, it's now on the front page, too. They have the advertisements as far as Netflix suggestions, and it's not based on what you watch, just the newer stuff that they put out there. So that's always great, because a lot of comedians who put their specials on Netflix, once they get on that front page, it's almost like the days of being on Oprah and The Tonight Show, where the next day everybody knows who you are.
Ooh. Interesting.
Just pointing that out if you weren't familiar with that.
Yeah, that's true. I do. You do pay more attention when they put it right out there in front of you.
Right, and you're like, the photo looks weird, or that graphic is weird. What the hell is that about? And you're going, it's pretty much judging a book by its cover.
Right.
And then finding out, wow, this was actually a really good story or a really good series.
I know, I'm a little bit of a star snob too. Like with the star system, if it's under 3, I sometimes won't. Because we watch a lot of documentaries, so if it's under 3, I'm like, I don't know if I can do that.
You're doing the Amazon rating system, where you go to buy something and you see, oh, this has like 6,000 reviews. And then you're like, wait, most of this is 3 and under. I'm not buying that product.
Right. Yeah, everything's being Yelped.
For those who don't know, because it's a fairly new show, tell us about Bloodline and what it is. Because you play Meg Rayburn and part of the Rayburn family. Right.
It's about a family in the Florida Keys that runs and operates a hospitality business at a hotel. They're little bungalows on the beach, and my family has run it for almost 50 years. But it's a family drama that turns into a thriller. So that to me was exciting, because I had never totally necessarily seen that done on TV.
Some of the print ads that I've seen has a great slug line for it. It says, "We're not bad people, but we did a bad thing."
Right.
Which is awesome, because being in Florida, it gives you the sense of a little bit of a Dexter feel, even though it's not going in that direction, or is it? We don't know. But it gives you the feel because you're sitting on a dock, you're sitting on a beach. It's that Florida feel where it's kind of raggy and paradise at the same time.
Yeah. There's a duality to it. It looks like it's beautiful, but yet it's somehow dangerous.
Now, how many episodes in this first season?
13.
13. How does Netflix feel about the debut so far, and are they looking at greenlighting season 2?
I don't know. I don't know how they feel, and I don't know about season 2 yet. And the series could stand alone in one season, but it could also carry on.
Let's not say that. Let's say it needs a second season.
Yeah, I mean, it does.
Right now.
Definitely. Go back to the Florida Keys and hang out with all.
It's so weird, the process with that, when they put the shows out all at once, now binge watching as it is, where if it was on a network television, you would have got feedback right away of how good and how bad it is. But for the Netflix kind of viewing, they put it all out there and like, well, we're going to see how it does. We'll let you know. There's no rush to find out how good this is going to go or how long it's going to be up. And that's kind of really the exact opposite of how the industry works. So is that a good or a bad thing?
Well, I think, I actually think it's good. I think it's let it breathe, and the show itself, like you said, it breathes. When you have traditional television and there's a pilot,
right?
And we never had a pilot with this series. We always knew there were 13, so the creators were able to go from 1 to 13 with their entire vision, so you can slowly get to know these people, as if you would in normal life. You think they're one thing, and you find out there's many other facets to them. But I think that this show is different than the traditional way because you don't have to prove anything in just one episode. You don't have to prove who everybody is. You don't have to get acquainted with every single character in the first episode, and it allows for it to unfold.
I didn't think about that until you just said it about the pilot, because usually the pilot is where they test, this seems to have gone over very well. The public perception is pretty good. And we already have 2 episodes
or let's
shot.
Change this,
right.
Or let's do this, or more of this, less of that. There's not, that doesn't exist. It's the creators are able to execute it as if it's one.
We're going to buy your idea. We're going to put it out. You put it together, and we're going to put that whole thing out there and see how it does. There's no rush to, the numbers didn't come back, that the pilot didn't test well. They don't like this character. It's put it out there. And it's another interesting thing, too, with Netflix, where they'll put these things out without the urgency of immediate feedback, or this has got to be a hit, or we got to cancel it, where this is going to take a little while. We believe in this. It's a good story, but the public will come around to it. This could be the big thing for the summer of binge watching.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
but I think that's really wonderful, and it separates Netflix in some ways. They believe in what they're doing, and they put all of their resources into it, and they let it be devoured or slowly watched or binge watched. It's there for you to choose how much and how little you want to see.
Let me ask you also with Netflix and tying into an older project that you worked on with Mad Men. That has become a show that has been a go-to for Netflix for when they do the half seasons, and the new half season or the beginning of a new season's coming up. Everyone jumps right back to Netflix to catch up. On rewatch last season for a refresher, or I never saw that show and I'm going to watch all 5,
Same
6,
thing
7
with Freaks and Geeks. I mean, not with the upcoming seasons, but Freaks and Geeks, people are watching it there and watching the whole entire series there. It's a great place to watch things that you missed.
Right. Well, let's talk about Freaks and Geeks then, because that was
Mad Men, I'm very excited for that to come out. I am super excited to see what happens.
There's just so many things to get to here. Okay. Let's go with Freaks and Geeks first.
Yes.
It's the show that when it came out, people were drawn to it, but I guess as far as the mass public, it didn't go over well.
No.
But it's the show that...
I don't know that they necessarily got the chance at the time.
Young people got it.
There were a lot of... I think if you look at the ratings now, it would be considered good ratings for how many people were watching at the time, but it was on at strange times. It was on a time where people, like on a Friday night they put it on once during the middle of Saturday.
Right.
So there were times when people weren't necessarily watching. It was up against a wall.
Right. And the network didn't really have enough confidence in it to see where this goes, because it was the starting ground for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And Judd Apatow and what have you. But it's one of those shows that never goes away, even though it had the critical success, but it didn't have the rating success and advertising success when it first came out.
Right.
But as time has gone on, you find younger and younger people finding Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't go away, and everybody's in love with it, especially at Comic-Con. You see stuff all over with Freaks and Geeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people have like the bootleg T-shirts, or they're dressed in costume.
Oh, I'd love to see those.
Yeah. That's so cool to be part of something that's... I guess historical at this point as far as television goes.
I've been so lucky. I've been on some really part of really great shows,
right.
and that show is really fun. The people are still finding it now, because back then it used to just disappear when your show got canceled, and we were devastated. We thought nobody would ever see it again. And then Judd fought to put it on DVD and paid out of his own pocket, and
that was a smart move, because it sold like crazy.
Then it lived on DVD, but then even still, you had to borrow someone's DVD to watch it. And now that it's on Netflix, there's I get somebody coming up to me every day who's seen it anew in a totally different generation.
Things go in cycles, and this will come around again. But do you feel that there may ever be a reunion for Freaks and Geeks, either be it an actual a project that's produced, or like a Jimmy Fallon type thing, because he's into, like he did Saved by the Bell and stuff like that?
I don't know. We did the Paley Fest. We were all there, for a reunion. But I don't know that you could ever truly go back and produce a real reunion of it, because we were in high school, and that was part of the awkward sort of horror of it all. You know, the show just sort of...
Maybe a little recap of where you guys are now in your lives.
Yeah, but is that really fun? I mean, it answers questions, but is it really going to... I mean, maybe.
All right.
It's so fun to see them in that time.
The viewer, I think the viewers
it's fun
would
to
want
see, but I feel like, you know, you could easily disappoint. I think it's kind of great that there are questions that are never answered.
So you like it that it's frozen in time and people
I do like that it's frozen in time. I do. Because it was nostalgia as it was. It was set in the 80s, so for it to be frozen in time is perfectly fitting.
Fair enough.
Right? I mean, I don't know.
Look, I'm always in favor of more. Like, if you can get more and enjoy more out of it, then, you know,
if
so
there
be it.
was a way to do it where it would satisfy the fans, that would be great.
Mad Men, you were in it during a time where your story arc was, there's a lot of old-time sexiness in that show.
Yeah.
Based in the 60s with Don Draper and all surrounding Don Draper.
Yeah.
But you were part of an arc where it was kind of, I guess, a married man's fantasy would be that the married neighbor next door kind of had the affair thing there. And having that story arc go on and then having the daughter discover what was going on was a great end to that story.
It was a great end. It was, when I read it, I was so excited because it was such a great ending and at the same time so horrified.
Right.
Because what a terrible thing to have to happen to the character.
The last half of the season that's coming in, it's supposed to be rumors the downfall of Don Draper. His past comes back to haunt him.
Oh.
Do you show up in this?
Oh, I don't know. But if I did, I would never in a million years be able to say it. But I don't know what happens in the show. So I'm really excited to see it.
Okay.
But even when I was on the show,
yeah,
there were times when I wouldn't be in an episode or part of an episode and I wouldn't read it because I'm a fan of the show. So anything that could remain as a prize, I liked. I love the idea that I don't know what's going to happen.
Linda Cardellini is here. We're talking about her career. She's promoting the show Bloodline on Netflix. You should definitely check it out. It's been out for a couple of weeks. There's a lot of word of mouth about this. It's definitely something you want to get into here. The rest of your career has been pretty amazing because you've been fortunate enough to do a lot of different projects. Voiceover work for animation, Scooby-Doo projects come to mind. But you also did video games too.
Yeah.
Which is a difficult...
With James Gunn, who is now enjoying a just crazy success.
Which is difficult to get into, not just the voiceover industry, but to also get into the video game industry, which is now pretty much rivaling animation. Like it's not looked at as like, oh, you did a video game, and it's like, it's not poo-pooed, I guess, anymore.
Oh, it's cool. It's hard work.
It is hard work,
and those words you have to say, and a lot of sounds you have to make.
It's shot like a movie now.
Yeah, there's a lot of different sounds you have to make.
You did the Scooby-Doo animations, but you also did the video game for Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed. You also did Gladius, but the one game I don't know of, and I wanted to ask you about, Lollipop Chainsaw.
That's James Gunn's game.
Right.
He did that before I knew James. You know, he directed and wrote Guardians of the Galaxy, and I knew James from Scooby-Doo days, and we've been close friends ever since. And so he was making Lollipop Chainsaw.
Tell me about the game.
It's like I think a girl dressed kind of scantily clad, and she just chainsaws people. But that wasn't my part. I can't remember I think I was like a tougher.
You were a character, Codella.
Yeah. She was a little bit tougher, a little bit more butch.
Do you play these games?
No, I haven't.
No?
I haven't. I mean, I played that one for a minute, you know, there, but I haven't.
No,
I am a mom now. I don't get much time for video games.
You don't do the phone or the iPad?
No. I try not to because I get sucked in.
You had a child only a few years ago, not old enough to really dive into the video game stuff.
No, thank God. She would if she could. If I gave her a chance, she would.
But she's probably at the point where she's going to start taking the iPad because she wants to watch
she already wants to.
You're going to show her any of the stuff that you've been in, like Scooby-Doo. Will she recognize your voice and freak out?
Sometimes she recognizes my voice. Sometimes she doesn't. I haven't totally shown her things. I'm on 2 cartoons now. I'm on Gravity Falls, and I'm on...
Which is a favorite of mine.
Yeah, it's great. It's so cute and funny. And I'm on another one, Sanjay and Craig, and
on Nickelodeon.
She watched that one and she kept calling everybody dude. So we we cut that off for a while.
You just said Gravity Falls was one of those shows that I don't think was, not that it was bad because it's very well done and the stories are amazing, but it was one of those shows that I think I didn't expect that was going to just take off like it did. It became huge.
Well, Kristen Shaw and Jason Ritter are great as those little twins. And
Kristen Shaw's in everything now.
She's great. Yeah.
She's really worked her way up.
She's awesome. That's why.
What do you think now, moving forward, would you be most recognized for? Which role?
Wow. It depends on where I am. I mean, and what's happening, you know? If I travel internationally, more than in America, I get recognized for ER.
I was going to say that.
Which is because in America it doesn't happen as often. It happens sometimes, but not as often. And here I get recognized for Freaks and Geeks. Sometimes Grandma's Boy.
Right. I remember you also from Boy Meets World.
Boy Meets, yeah. People are mad at me about that still.
Which is another show that has not gone away.
That's true.
And it had on television, it had a more successful run than Freaks and Geeks, but lived on in syndication.
Yeah.
Even to this day with, what is it, Girl Meets World now?
Yeah.
The new adaptation. But the older ones still play somewhere. You'll find them on any network, and that's an amazing show to be a part of as well.
Yeah, I've been so lucky. I really have.
People are still mad at you?
Yeah, people are mad. People are mad that I got in the way of Corey and Topanga. Although I feel like they're fine with it now because they have their other show, and they've turned out, that couple's clearly done okay.
How great would it be if they called you up and said, hey, we want you to do a walk-on that you show up again?
Yeah, but what do I do? Go in and destroy their marriage? Then people will really hate me.
Like
Sylvia Rosen of Boy Meets World.
He just wrote, you run into him in the mall. Yeah. And they're like, oh my God, I can't believe she's back. Hate letters all over again.
Yeah, or string of ex-husbands. Well, all the things she's taken from them and all the cheating.
You also did Clueless, but the TV version.
Yeah, I did.
How hard was it to adapt that phenom of a movie to the television show?
I don't know. I was relatively new to the industry when I did that job, and it was really fun for me. I played some chick with, I think I had purple hair and leather pants or something, and purple lipstick, and she was really tough. She wanted to beat up the main girl, and Rachel, who played her, we became friends, and we've been friends ever since. So I had a great time on that job, but it was quick in and out. But that movie was a phenomenon at the time. So
yeah, I don't think it's one of those movies that still holds up, but because I grew up in that time period, if it's on TV or if I see it on Netflix, I'll go and watch it again and again.
It's kind of like Legally Blonde has a similar kind of audience,
which
too.
You were also in.
Yeah, I was in Legally Blonde.
Look, I could throw a rock anywhere in a room and it'll hit a project that you've been in, which is a great career to have. You've had a little sample of everything.
Yeah, I'm lucky. I've been able to play lots of really cool roles.
Well, you're doing Bloodline right now on Netflix. You play Meg Rayburn. Definitely check it out. All 13 episodes are out right now.
It gets so great, too. It just, the pace of it just changes and the genre changes, and the guys who created it and produced it, they did a great job with it.
So definitely check that out, but you also have a movie coming out.
I do.
Called Welcome to Me?
I have a movie called Welcome to Me with Kristen Wiig. It's a dark comedy that comes out in May. And then I just finished shooting a movie with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, a comedy called Daddy's Home.
Explain, if you could, what is Welcome to Me about?
Kristen Wiig plays a woman named Alice who has borderline personality. I can't even talk. I'm so tired.
Personality disorder?
I've been up for a really long time. She has borderline personality disorder, and she wins almost $90 million, and she takes all of that money and makes a public access television show about herself. And I play her best friend.
Well, that's a great project to be in.
Oh, my God. The cast is incredible in that. Joan Cusack and Wes Bentley and James Marsden and Tim Robbins, and it just goes on and on. Yeah, it's an incredible cast.
What's Tim Robbins like?
He was great. I worked very little with him, but he's fantastic.
Like, he's one of those dudes, too, that has such an amazing career.
Yeah.
And then, because he's not a very public person, but he just dips out for a while, and then all of a sudden he shows up, and then he's in a whole string of things again.
Yeah, but I feel like during that time when he dips out, he's always doing something that's artistic or creative. Or...
Not that everybody gets to see, but then all of a sudden, like in this movie, you'll see him in this movie, and then all of a sudden he's in a whole bunch of different things. Like, wow, Tim Robbins is back. They thought he went away, but now here he is again.
Yeah, I think he runs a theater in Los Angeles, and he does a lot of stuff.
Well, we'll look for Welcome to Me, and then the Will Ferrell movie, and Mark Wahlberg movie down the line.
I'll do a couple things along the way.
You're busy.
You'll see me.
You're not. You're not hurting right now. You got a good streak going.
I'm enjoying it. I'm really lucky. I took a little break after ER, and now I'm back, and I'm working hard, and I'm enjoying it.
I'm running out of time with you. Gravity Falls 2, season 2, season 3.
I'm not sure. I'm not. I hardly know where I am right now.
You've got just too many things.
I'm so tired.
No,
I'm just
here,
kidding.
Read this into that mic. Go act over there. Your daughter's calling for you.
No, I hope so. It's great. It's really
best
fun.
Best of luck to you. Check out Bloodline on Netflix. It's 13 episodes. You can watch all of them in the weekend there. Go watch it and then tell everybody else about it too, because it's one of those shows that'll get big, not just by standing on its own, but from word of mouth. And it's only been out a few weeks.
Just imagine the idea that people have spent 13 hours watching it already is pretty amazing.
They were watching it the first 13 hours it was out. It was somebody had already completed it.
So great.
Mind-boggling.
My sister was one of those people.
Oh, she was?
Yeah, she loves it.
Because you don't give her a screener or don't tell her anything about it. So you got to wait till...
She's got to wait.
And then she calls up and yells at you. This is so awesome. Why didn't you tell me this 3 months ago? Linda, thank you so much. Do you have Twitter and Instagram?
You know, I have to get back on it. I do have
because I thought you had a Twitter, but it wasn't updated since like 2013.
And then I checked out, but I got to check back in and do it. And then there was somebody that was impersonating me on a bunch of different things and saying things, and they weren't really me. So now I'm going to get on there and really be me.
Okay. Well, she has an official Twitter, but she's not using it right now. Maybe
I will. I'll get on there at some point.
You don't need to get back on it.
I
Just
don't.
have somebody hold it.
I'm torn. You know, do I get on there? Do I not get on there?
Get it verified. Have it as a placeholder so no one can impersonate you, but you don't really need to go into that world. You're too busy with so many other projects. No need to go down that rabbit hole with it. I'm telling you, you'll be a lot better off. Okay. Linda Cardellini, thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you next time you're on.
Thank you.